Wait a minute. What am I thinking? A wave of introspection hits me. Not guilt exactly, but an internal questioning nonetheless. God, what happened to my morals? When Ronnie and Laura, two of my best friends, said this would be kicks, I didn't hesitate. And it was fun. We had a lot of laughs, mostly at Wally's expense. Now I ask myself, how did I get into this surreal place? What's a nice Lutheran girl from Seattle doing in this crazy, upside-down world of Las Vegas? It occurs to me that I wasn't raised to behave like such a carefree sleaze. Chapter 1. Leaving Los Angeles. Some girls are attracted to men who are tall, dark, and handsome, Latin or rich. Give me a man who can tell a great story. That's how in Los Angeles in the fall of 1972, I came to be sitting in this out-of-the-way Mexican restaurant with fabulous food on a first date with a man 16 years my senior. He tells me harrowing stories of diving expeditions he's led to search for sunken treasure in the Caribbean and says, "The sea will make a Christian out of you." I notice that around his neck on a heavy chain he wears a large gold cross. De La Fontaine has the kind of life a girl like me, hooked on the idea of adventure, would find intriguing. He has been a drill sergeant at Paris Island, a bush pilot in Brazil, and made and lost 3 fortunes, he says. Now he is employed as an undercover narcotics officer for the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms, ATF. He drives a yellow Ford Mustang, previously confiscated in a drug bust. I have been introduced to Del by my friend Judy, a singer and go-go dancer on the Sunset Strip. I have just returned from a 3-month backpacking trip through 10 European countries, and I'm suffering from the bite of the travel bug. Before that, I had worked for 3 years as a graphic designer in a Wilshire Boulevard boutique advertising agency with interesting accounts like James B. Lansing Sound, JBL, the Canadian Rock Theatre, and the Peace Corps. I don't want to commit just yet to another serious job in advertising, so I work part-time for a new-style restaurant company called A Movable Feast. Dressed in a long, flowered skirt, carrying a picnic-style basket, I peddle sandwiches on a route of Wilshire Boulevard offices. Before I went to Europe, Judy tried to get me together with Del, but he was dating her boyfriend's sister. I told her, I don't want to meet anyone who has a girlfriend. Now she has pressed, insisting, no, they've broken up for good. She promised that I'd really like him. He's an interesting guy. You'll have a lot in common. Relationships among young people in Los Angeles in the 70s are creative, to say the least. I suspect Judy's attracted to and wants to have sex with Del herself, but her boyfriend is the jealous type. I suspect she wants me to sleep with Del and then come back and tell her what it was like. After all, what are best friends for? Over the best flan I've ever had, Del tells me about some of his adventures with the ATF. He exudes self-confidence, and his stories make me wonder and laugh. He finishes dinner with a pipe bowl of Borkum Riff. While I'm not a fan of cigarette smoke, I like the smell of his tobacco, and I admit I am attracted. One of the businesses Del has made and lost was a Las Vegas corporation called Continental Property Management. I sold it to my accountant and went down to Brazil to become a bush pilot, he tells me. A year later, I came back for my first annual payment. The guy took me out to his backyard at a barbecue and confessed he'd embezzled money, and the business was broke. The IRS offered to give me back the business, but I was burned out, so I just went back to Brazil. Del tells me about his ATF friends and others in Las Vegas. He's even had a date with Anne Margaret. He loves Las Vegas. With a knowing smile, he says, "It's a great town when you're connected." I feel like I have met a true soldier of fortune, complete with rugged tan, wiry build, sporty mustache, and fascinating stories. A girl might listen skeptically to adventurous tales told by a man newly met, but Judy has known Del for 7 years. By Christmas, Del and I are an item, planning future travels together. I'm in love. One day he tells me about some Latin friends who work in Las Vegas and want him to join them in a new business. What kind of business? I ask. A circus. He explained that these friends have a trapeze act called the Flying Farfans, and they plan to leave Circus, the hotel casino where they currently perform, at the end of their 5-year contract. They're tired of working for someone else and want to start their own business.